Going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am BDLM, and I am here with my buddy J4Y, bringing you a breakdown, one of those wonderful little games where we get to watch some of our friends go and hopefully pub stomp. How's it going, Jay?
It's going well, my good sir, going well. After this little bit, by the way, you're going to have to recall me, because it happened again. Isn't that great, in the first 2 seconds?
Oh, it's just the best.
Go ahead and recall me. I'm going to keep going.
All right.
So essentially, we got our friend Bonk, who just did our podcast with us. And then after that, we actually had a viewer from the IRC channel, Pound Dota On Demand. While we talk in our cast, people can feel free to join and talk about it. But yeah, we have this person here, Toby, who actually has yet to pick, but hopefully we'll choose someone interesting for us to do a cast on. But yeah, it should be interesting, and I look forward to seeing that. He still has not called me back. I hope that goes well, and he will call me back. Oh, there it is.
Oh, hello.
Oh, welcome back. Let me make sure everything's still looking good. It's a little off. You know, it's okay. We'll deal with it.
Doesn't matter. First time trying to do this crazy video stuff here, but anyway, our nice little breakdown here. We have Bonk playing Invoker. We just did our Invoker podcast, so we're going to actually get to see him in action, doing some of his Invoker action. Actually, somebody was nice enough to join us in our IRC chat playing this.
I just said a little bit of that, but that's okay.
Fantastic.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, there you go. Not my fault. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and run through the Radiant team if you want to go through the Dire. Sure. For the Radiant, we have a Puck, Naix, Viper, Invoker, and Weaver. I think it's a very interesting team, a lot of carries, sort of, but we'll have to see if this sort of combo that we talked about a while ago between Naix and Puck, Naix being able to ulti into Puck and then pop out at the end of the illusionary orb. Let's see if they try any of that, or maybe even the Weaver's Shaboopy being able to move around invisible and then haha, surprise, Naix.
Yeah, that should definitely be common. Yeah, definitely this Dire team. Whoa, very odd lineup. We got the Juggernaut, we got the Omni Knight, we got the Storm Spirit, Lich, and Tiny. We actually talked about Tiny too a little bit on the podcast about that Agumon Scepter, how he can now pick up a tree, get all these different nice and melee abilities, do extra damage to towers, cleave, extra range, all those good things. So we'll have to see what he decides to go, if he likes to try to go for that Agumon Scepter and go for more of a pushing strategy.
I think the first thing interesting to note, Lifestealer was actually able to pick up double damage in the river bottom and is now using it to jungle. Very nice for him. He picks up the Feast rank 1, as you generally need to do as a jungle Lifestealer. So doing more damage, he's going to Lifesteal more back, which means he has the ability to jungle a little bit easier. And as we can see here, he's going to clear out the yellow camp, leave, wait till the minute ticks over and the creeps respawn, and then go right back into that yellow camp to pick up that farm.
Yeah, pretty efficient. And you have to figure, like, some people are like, oh, well, why don't you start a more experienced one? Well, frankly, at level 1, it's kind of hard sometimes to kill those bigger camps, especially like the orange one here that actually we see a Centaur spawned in. And, I mean, that can be really hard to take out. Lifestealer might have the potential just because his Feast is so strong, because it does damage based on their current health. But, I mean, still, it would take a while, and it might not be worth it, whereas you can see he's already level 2. Actually levels up that Rage first. I'd like that build personally, getting that attack speed bonus right away so he can jungle even faster.
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to mention. That's the only problem against going up those big camps is Naix, is you really need the attack speed to get the lifesteal from Feast going. As we can see, he's doing something very smart here, pulling the creep wave back, giving Puck more safe area to play. I mean, it means that the creep wave's going to push up. He can spend more time around his tower, I guess is the best way to say it. So a lot less likely to die down here, although, of course, Puck is going to have a hard time harassing Juggernauts. We're going to have to see what kind of farm he can get down here in this lane, getting the heals from Omni Knight.
Yeah, but, I mean, I do really like, actually see here, he's going to have to worry about, does do it successfully, he's going to be fine. He actually went Bracer first, kind of interesting there, and you can actually see Lifestealer here now, just doing a little bit of attack damage, but not enough to do anything concrete. But Puck, I think, is actually a really nice choice for this lane, just because he does have that phase shift, which when you level it up, he can really be able to avoid damage, especially like Juggernaut's high damage spin. Here
in the top lane, we actually Storm Spirit is going to come in here with an invisibility rune, and they're going to pick up first blood on Viper, and it looks like Tiny is going to try and go in here onto Weaver. Both of those heroes will go down, all that made possible by the invisibility rune top lane. No wards out on this map, very unfortunate to see, although at the same time there really isn't a support hero in this lineup, and so I think it's one of the unfortunate things in pubs. Hopefully, even if you do wind up picking a carry hero, if there isn't anybody that's going to buy those wards, it's very important for somebody to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I probably would have liked to seen at least one of those people top. I mean, it is kind of unfortunately, and also just for the fact that it's two pretty hard carries, both in Viper and in Weaver. So they're splitting farm. That's just not going to really help mid to late game. So hopefully they'll eventually be able to divide up into lanes when it goes more into like a free farm state of the game around the 20-minute mark or so. But we'll have to see how that progresses. Meanwhile, Juggernaut's been having a pretty actually not great time bottom. He's only 6-1, which is really disappointing. Actually, you're going to see him though. Probably get a kill on Puck here. Whoa, actually makes it out. Is he going to get the kill here on Juggernaut? Really good heal there by Omni-Knight, saving his life probably. Fantastic job there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate this Puck doesn't have any regen. What is he going to be able to do to try and stay in this lane? Has plenty of gold. Is there a courier? Yes, not flying though, so he can bring himself some health potions if he wishes to. Oh, he actually gets healed by the Nyx. Being a gentleman, giving him that regen. Very nice.
Geez. That was aggressive. He jumps in there. Omni-Knight does miss the heal though. And he's going to probably go down here to the Omni-Knight. Oh, beautiful phase shift. Unbelievable. Here comes the rage now. Going to be at least one kill. Omni-Knight looks like he's going to make it out. Wow, that phase shift. Just avoiding the auto attack for the kill there. Very impressive. And that's going to pick up just one kill there for them. I really like how that went out.
Yeah, that worked out quite well. I was actually like, oh, Omni-Knight, why didn't you stay and, try and get that last hit once the phase shift ended? But I see he heals on top of Nyx. Nyx pops the rage, though, doesn't take any of that damage. Now he's going to try and get some of that health back. Will Juggernaut be able to come in here and do anything? No, obviously not level 6 yet, nowhere close. He's just going to die this tower and see what he can do. Will he be able to get any spins on? Yes, he will. Hopefully he's going to need to get a heal. Oh, the tower not doing enough to either hero. They will both survive, but here at critical health, Jug's either going to have to leave or get himself a health potion. Looks like he is going to choose to leave. Here in the middle lane, though, we haven't actually talked about Mr. Invoker. He's doing his Wex Quas, as he was talking about in the cast. We can see him here with Cold Snap. He has been able to stay in this lane just fine. Storm Spirit is really good at harassing people, but the health regeneration from this Quas pretty fantastic. He's sitting on at least 6 on top of whatever he just gets naturally. And look, as you can see there, a little bit of damage from Storm Spirit. He's just going to regen it back with 7.4 health regeneration already. This early on in the game. Very nice.
He straight bought phase boots right there. So obviously looking to now get some nice damage going. You can see he's actually putting most of his points into that Wex. And he actually just uses Cold Snap there. You can see how much damage it's already dishing out. Pretty good damage. The rune did spawn, however, and it is top. Lucky guess there by Storm Spirit because there actually are no wards there. So he's just going to get a free double damage rune. Look to probably come middle here on Invoker, see if he can do anything. But phase Invoker, he's going to be a lot more effective now that he has those. He's going to be able to last hit a lot easier and, do a lot more, dish out more damage during that Cold Snap.
Yeah, as we could say too, Bonk mentioned in the cast, the Wex gives that extra movement speed. We're going to have to see if he decides to pop any instances to chase down the Storm Spirit. He does not. But yeah, he's going to be very quick now if he decides to get up any of those Ws. Looks like Storm Spirit's going to actually waste a significant amount of mana now with no bottle charges. 30 mana and 230 health after that. Really gaining nothing there. As we just said, all that health regeneration on Invoker, not a big deal, any of this harassment. Now, actually, Storm Spirit's going to walk all the way back to base, wasting all that time where he could have been farming with that double damage rune.
Yeah, definitely not a good idea on his part. He really shouldn't be that aggressive. Unless you can burst him down, really not a smart idea. And Invoker's now just able to farm up his lane. He hasn't ganked any, which is kind of unfortunate. Actually, see here, top lane, Weaver does get out in time. Good use there of a Shikuchi or Shibupi, however you want to word it. But good job escaping. But still, I'm looking back at the farm here. Viper at 3 and 4, Weaver at 14 and 2. So it's not going amazingly. It's not going bad either, I guess. I guess one of them has to take their losses and farm, but at least Weaver's getting a half-decent farm. And he did go ring a Basilisk, too, to help out with their regen, I guess.
Yeah, it is really nice to see, too, that Weaver is kind of leveling properly. I think some of the times that you see people who really don't see a lot of Weaver play, they'll look to... Oh, actually, it looks like in the bottom lane, Bonk is doing that ganking that you wanted to see. There he is able to pick up a kill with the help of Naix. Unfortunately, though, they do lose Puck, a 1-for-1, but they do get a kill on Juggernaut, which is significantly more important than the kill on Puck. So very nice to see there. Invoker's going to sit down here in this lane, he'll pick up some farm, and you have to imagine he's going to look to pick up the Bracer and go into the drums, as he mentioned earlier. Actually, in the top lane, Stormspear is going to try and come in from behind. He does have a bottled regeneration rune. What is he going to be able to do? He wants to try and get this Viper. He is the one without the escape, walks straight past him. Now he's going to pop the ult to try and go up there. Looks like Puck will go in there and help silence, but Jugs actually goes top as well. Very nice phase shift by Puck, getting out of the damage from that. A Mist Swarm will mean an end to this, or will it? Actually looks like tossed by Tiny, and now continued attack here. The ultimate from Puck will stop them from moving around, but Tiny is able to pick up the kill on Puck, and there will be no follow-up. Now a little bit of harassment placed by the Viper a little late.
Oh, now they see, they can see Invoker if he gets that edge. Invoker going in there by himself against a few heroes. He should really be a little more cautious than that. He does have EMP and Tornado as his current spells, so he could land some pretty good damage, especially with the way he's maxing out Wex. That's going to make the EMP do a lot of mana drain, which is, especially at this point in the game, would burst a lot of mana.
Yeah, in comes Stormspear. He looks to lay on the CC on the Viper. Viper will go down. They're just sitting up here in these top woods, looking for opportunities to get kills, and they do, and they're feeding Juggernaut, which is something that's very key to their team late game. That whole time, they're leaving both mid and bottom open. Now somebody's down there to take that farm, but those lanes were pretty open, very farmable, but I guess Jugs makes up for it by picking up that kill there.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, you're leaving Omni Knight to farm bottom, and while that's not the worst thing in the world, you could definitely be a lot better served to like a Juggernaut who was having basically free farm. I mean, there was a couple ganks there, but essentially...
Here in the top lane, it looks like Weaver might actually be able to pick up a kill here on Lich. No, he's not able to get the Gemnade attack. That might have actually been enough to kill Lich had he gotten that off. Let me check this Weaver again. Hasn't hit 7 yet to see if we're going to get the leveling up in Swarm, but I imagine so. I didn't say that earlier, but there's some action mid. It looks like Stormspear is going to try and go in on Bonk. He has so much movement speed now. Is he going to be able to get ahead? Oh, he's going to Tornado and then get the rune and just harass this Storm Spirit down. Storm Spirit sure to lull in all chat instead of getting himself to safety. Will Bonk be able to get a kill? I imagine so. Is he going to be able to keep chasing him? Oh my gosh. Oh, enough mana comes back from Storm Spirit. Will this be Bonk's death? He has to be very careful here. Really nice jukes here by Storm Spirit. Getting on the tower. Now looks like Lich is going to come in to support. Bonk is just going to pop his bottle and looks to go back in. Not aware that Lich is in. He now sees him and now will look to run, but he's been back there too long. Now looks like a Lich ult will be arguably wasted to pick up a kill on Invoker. Did secure the kill, so I guess you can't say completely wasted.
Wow, that was a lot of work. Invoker definitely stuck around there just a bit too long, unfortunately, and then that TP came in, which unfortunately he couldn't see until it was too late. But Juggernaut has been roaming like this whole game. I just am really, really confused by it. Actually, bottom lane, Omni Knight choosing to level max out DJ Nora and Purification. I'm putting 1 point in either his ulti or in Repel. It looks like this should be definitely a kill here for Viper. Just be able to kite him all day with that slow, as you can see him doing here. Just gotta be careful that those creeps can do a good amount of damage. Here comes Lifestealer. If he can get the... There goes the open wounds. Oh, but it might not be enough. Oh, that's very unfortunate. He gets away with just enough health.
Yeah, Viper too low there to really do anything. Unfortunately, Viper really needs some stuff to pick up this farm. He doesn't have any points in Nether Toxin, which... yeah, that might be why he doesn't have any kills. It's a really... very nice ability to level up, as it turns out. Unfortunately, Tiny will get another kill in this top lane, taking out Weaver. Tiny now goes on a killing spree. Picking up the Tranquil Boots, very interesting, actually. He wants to get that movement speed so that he can pursue people here in the middle lane. Looks like Puck's going to try and go in here on the Storm Spirit. He will drop the ultimate. That will be enough, actually. Invoker will pick up this kill, increasing his farm. He has picked up the Bracer, so yes, he's probably going to look to finish the Drums of Endurance when he gets the chance.
Very good job there. I really like that combination from Puck and Invoker. Storm Spirit did a good job with his ultimate. He did avoid the initial orb coming in, but there was just too much pressure, and the ultimate did eventually take him out there. So really good job here. Meanwhile, Viper bottom lane, Still only level 5. He's not even 6, so how effective can he really be? Actually, it looks like here comes Omni Knight and Juggernaut. This is not looking good. There needs to be a TP down here immediately, and it's not going to come at all. That is going to spell out Viper's death, unfortunately. I mean, this maxed out Degen Aura, what are you making of it?
I typically wouldn't like to see it. I mean, we can obviously see right there where it was really kind of a big deal. It's going to allow them to get that kill on Viper and now push this tower. They are giving the last hit on that tower to Juggernaut. Very nice to see there. We'll have to see what Juggernaut looks to do with this 1,000 gold. Degen are very powerful, but so is Repel. I guess you could argue that, it doesn't make a lot of sense to put a ton of points into Repel when you're still this early in the laning phase, and there really isn't anybody to put pressure on Omni Knight and Juggernaut at this point in the game, but you'd like to see at least 1 point in it before you see the Degen Aura max, I think, for the 6-second duration. Bonk running around here. He does have the high enough Wex so that he is slowing people if he decides to go the... he has the Invis rune, okay. Oh, he actually runs in a Lich, so they might be aware that he's there, but he is just going to keep scouting here to see if anybody on his team looks to engage. Looks like Puck is going to come up. He does drop the EMP. Does not look to hit anybody, though. Will they be able to kill this Tiny? Is there enough damage? Yes, there is. Viper will actually pick up that kill. Very nice for him. A good spread there to stop the Lich ult from doing too much damage. It looks like Storm Spirit, though, might be able to pursue this Bonk to death. No, he will not, but they will be able to pick up this kill on Puck from the looks of it, dropping his ulti. Wow. He will be able to use his combo to get himself to safety. Now Invoker has to be careful. Even though he's behind the cover of his tower, there are a lot of heroes there that could look to go in on him. He and Naix have to be very careful. Looks like they will not try and dive this tower, and look, just push the lane. Hopefully support will come for them quickly, as Weaver's actually left in the top to free farm after having picked up the Ring of Aquila.
Great choice there. I want to go back to that Puck play, though. How amazing was that? Actually, it looks like Invoker's going to go down here, gets caught out. That's going to be an instant kill. But back to the Puck, he did so many things right there. First of all, when you see that Lich ulti, when it comes for you, if you use your, blanking.
Phase
shift.
Phase shift,
when he uses his phase shift, that can prevent it from continuing to bounce, because it won't hit you. So he did that. Really smart play there, and you obviously don't take the damage either. Another thing he did right, if you shoot out your orb in a direction you want to run away in and then use your phase shift, you can, during that phase shift, teleport to wherever your orb is. So he did that as well, which allowed him to survive. Also his great ulti, hitting 3 heroes, preventing them from chasing. I mean, beautiful play all around.
Yeah, definitely. We see Tiny has actually come up here to try and stop this Weaver from farming. He is actually going to level Geminate attack over Swarm. I really do like the Swarm. It's good damage output, good armor reduction. I think that's definitely the superior thing to level up, but Geminate attack is something we do see a lot out of people. Obviously, you have to get that Shabupi maxed out so you get that short cooldown. Spends 2 seconds out of it, essentially, because it lasts for 4 seconds and then has the 6-second cooldown. Looks like Invoker's actually going to try and go in here with the mix of Cold Snap and EMP, something that we didn't talk about in the cast, but yeah, that's a really good thing to try and keep people in range to make sure they drain that mana. If you drain Tiny's mana, really, what is he going to do? Tiny
actually decided to go Tranquil Boots, and I really like it. What a great idea on him, just for the fact that you get that really nice movement speed. Actually, Puck, as I'm saying this, he's in trouble. Here comes the spin. I have faith, though. He's going to be able to get out of here. I lied. Whoa, did I? What a great play there. He's juking me out. Drops his ultimate. This could set something for Invoker. He's got them where he wants them, but I guess... Oh, he now invokes. He does a Cold Snap, and that's going to spell out the death of Juggernaut just in time, though. Gonna take down Puck, though, in the meantime. Here comes Storm Spirit. CCing Invoker. He's out of mana. He's just got to try to get out of there. Oh, we're caught in a bad place. Gets nuked down by the Lich. And now they're going to look to take out really good Tornado. Is it going to be enough to get a kill for him? Yes, it is, but it's a 3-for-3 at the end.
Yeah, best of a bad situation, I guess you could say. Able to even that out, that's always nice. But Storm Spirit gets a triple kill out of that, and Storm Spirits are really good in here. Oh, he will go down though, actually feeding the Lifestealer. So there you go. Finally, the advantage does actually tip into the Radiant's favor, and it's nice to see Viper's actually getting some farm himself. Unfortunately, though, he does have a Ring of Aquila as well. I mean, it's not uncommon to see multiple Ring of Basiliuses on a team, but not really something that you particularly need on Viper, in my opinion, even though, he can use the mana. I'd rather not get on him rather than go for something maybe that would provide him a little bit more tankability. Interesting to see, he still has not put a single point in a Nether Toxin. That move is so huge. I don't know. I think that's really one of the things that makes Viper really strong. It's unfortunate to not see him leveling it up there. I'd actually like to say real quick, if you don't mind, interesting to see the Sentry Ward location in the bottom river. We actually see that the Dire did have a ward up on that little ledge there. They decided to put the Sentry Ward down a little bit further, trying to see if they have a ward up on the location just to the left of that. Yeah. See if the Radiant. Yes, it's like Sentinel, Radiant. Sentinel, Radiant. See if the Radiant had put a ward there, but you know, yes, you are correct, sir. They're looking to try and go in here on Puck and Invoker. Will Puck be able to get out? He does phase out. Where did he go? We may never know. Nice rhyme in action there. 5 Dire Heroes top, not able to make anything of it. Will they just look to push this? One of them looks to leave, but the other 4 might actually stick up here. Ton of area damage actually up here, draining a good amount of mana from Storm Spirit. Dropping his ulti, he will actually drain a lot himself, but the bottle will allow him to regenerate that back up if they want to continue this push, which they do. It actually looks like the rest of their team are going to look to push the middle tower, but here in the top, so much CC and damage will ensure one of the kills. Will Weaver be able to get away? We'll have to see Puck actually hits 4 people with his ultimate. Will he get away? No, Tiny will pick up that kill, tossing Juggernaut on top of poor Puck. They are able to pick up that tower middle, you know, but we'll have to see if they can actually defend this tower top as well. It looks like they will. Everyone porting out. I mean, who do you think the advantage goes to in that situation?
Absolutely.
As I say that, of course, Naix will actually give up another kill, so not as easy to say. Actually, Whitley, he's just so much rage. He can attack so fast and lifesteal so much back. He will actually finally go down. Unfortunately, the Lich Ult does not bounce to anybody. Will Weaver now go down as well? Yes, he will.
And no kills. Wow.
Yeah, no kills. Just should not have looked to press there. No wards on top river, so they didn't know that so many Dire Heroes were there. Again, running into that problem of, well, who's going to buy wards? I'm not a support. Well, I'm not a support either.
Well, here's my main problem with what happened. Not main, but one of the problems. Actually, it looks like Invoker's going to try landing a combo, not going to be able to do it. If Viper, instead of putting all those points in Curse Skin, put at least a couple in Nether Toxin, he would have killed at least 1 or 2 heroes there. Just because they were all so low health, it scales with how much health they're missing. Like, that would have been the difference right there in a couple of those kills.
You know, you could even say maybe if there were a ton of auto attack heroes in the other team, maybe it's worthwhile leveling the corrosive skin up a lot. But there's only Jugs you have to worry about the auto attacks, and right now a big source of his damage is actually the spin. Yeah. So you need this Nether Tox in order to farm effectively and also to help get those hero kills because it does bonus damage based on how low people are. So, you know, just a thing to keep in mind when you're playing Viper. You know, we have talked about him before on these little breakdowns, but, you know, yes, something you have to keep in mind.
Absolutely. So, back to farm. I'm going to pull up the gold graph. It's to 2,000 in favor of the Dire. It was down to 3,500, then went to 1,000, and now it's 2,000 again after that team fight, unfortunately. Actually, a kill top on Lich there, but it looks like Viper might survive. Oh, there's the combo. I loved it from Invoker right there. You saw him use the tornado and drop the MP right before it, so right when he landed from the tornado, he got hit by the MP to drain the rest of his mana and take damage. Really good job setting that up.
Yeah, well, on the bottom lane, it looked like the Dire were able to pick up a kill on the Puck. It was ended by a tiny toss. Storm Spirit on the Puck, enough to take him down. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, as you can see, actually, now just finally look at the kill to death. 10 to 21. Quite the disparity. And we can see that the Radiant have picked up an extra tower, but obviously it's not enough to make up for an 11 kill.
Well, that just has to show how good they're farming then, because it's only 1,000 gold difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think all that time where Jugs was in that top lane trying to get kills, not really worth it. I mean, it's why you see so often in professional teams, you'll see like 4v5s, and you're like, well, where was Anti-Mage that whole time? He's off in the jungle, and I could say, yeah, he isn't really doing much. You know, he is getting the farm he needs here in the bottom lane. Here we can see the Wex on Invoker, allowing him to keep up that Storm Spirit, who was trying to ulti away. Not actually enough to get away. He just catches him, kills, another pickup. Now slightly less than double.
You know,
Radiant kills.
I was going on about how I would like to see Yules on Invoker to set up some of his moves. He has a built-in Yules. I don't know. Obviously, if you can land that tornado, you really don't need the rest of it. Actually, he is going right into the middle of a couple of heroes. There you go. Cold Snap and Silence. If he can land EMP here, actually, he's pretty Oh, that is going to spell the death of him for sure. Really good Lich ulti there, and that's going to be a double kill for Omni Knight, believe it or not. This Omni Knight's going Sage and Yasha.
Carry Omni Knight.
Beautiful.
Not something you see very often. Where's the Blink Dagger is my question.
That is a very strong question.
If you're not in on that inside joke, Jay once picked up a Blink Dagger on Omni Knight, blinked in on somebody, and then healed. It's quite fantastic. Well, probably one of my favorite troll builds of all time. Completely by accident. He's like, well, guess I have to make the best of it there. Just absolutely fantastic. Let's see, what's Weaver getting here on farm? Finishes the treads, up to 700 gold. It's looking kind of late in the game to pick up the Radiance. So what do you think he's actually going to try and look to pick up?
I don't think he's going Radiance at this point. I mean, he's going to need, I think, to survive.
Here in the middle lane, actually, looks like they're trying to go here on this Nyx, diving the tier 1 tower. They're not going to be able to pick up a kill. He does rage. Looks like Puck wants to take this fight to the house. I don't know where that came from. He decides to stop that, backs off. And see, we finally have a point in Nether Toxin, but Viper just isn't doing damage. Here we actually see Puck gets caught. Will they be able to make something of this? The EMP goes off a little early, but they're still going to be able to pick up some kills here. Pick up 2, don't lose any. Actually, they finally do lose Puck. Now it looks like Viper's going to try and keep up this attack, but Force Staff Tiny is going to keep him out of there. He's going to TP away just fine. And again, the Viper Orb was up doing the slow, but no damage.
Force Staff Tiny. I love it.
I mean, I do like it. It was something I was thinking about. Who was I playing earlier? Where I wanted to pick up a Blink Dagger. I don't remember, unfortunately. But, you know, the Force Staff, it does give you some nice int. No, it wasn't Axe. Maybe that's what I was thinking of, but it was not today. I thought it was something I was thinking of today. But anyway, the Force Staff is kind of a nice little initiation tool. We've seen it on Pudge before, like in Dota 1. You can push yourself up and then get Hook to try and get some extended range on that. But, you know, not really a bad item. It gives you some damage, gives you some int. Very nice pickup if you want to use that. And obviously we just saw there it's a good escape mechanism if you're taking damage, where Blink Dagger can't really help you out if you're taking hero damage.
Absolutely. Actually see initiation going on in Invoker here. There's an ultimate. It's going to hit a lot of creeps, though. Storm Spirit comes in, though, at the last second. Here comes all the initiation. This is looking really bad for the Radiant here. Are they going to be able to turn any of this around? Oh, just unfortunate all over the place. It looks like the Lifestealer in the middle of it's still not going down. Finally does get nuked. Bonk saying that was the luckiest ult in the world. Probably was not. Anyways, here we go. See a chase here. Puck's once again doing a pretty good job surviving. These Arcane Boots, he will not keep surviving, though, and that has probably a lot to do with the fact that Phase Shift is only level 1.
There you go. Yep. Jug's ult did do a pretty good job there of keeping up with Invoker. Did still hit a lot of creeps along the way. It's something with buff we saw to Juggernaut. He got an increase in the number of jumps his ult gets 2 patches ago now, I guess?
I want to talk about. He just said, I got killed by RNG. Do you know how bad I want to say gifts and curses?
Oh god, gifts and curses. It's a gift.
Watch our podcast and you'll know. Right.
So many little inside jokes. Yeah, you kind of have to watch these two in conjunction. I mean, we're trying to talk a lot about Invoker too in this, since we just did the podcast on it. So go watch that. Do it. Interesting to see now. Yeah, he likes to keep this Tornado EMP together, and you know that's a really nice combo, as we talked about a lot. Kind of just running around as his default. I haven't seen those Forge Spirits. Just saying. I'd like to see some of those out. SMY completed on Omni Knight. Looking around some of the other items people picked up. Juggernaut is looking to go for the Battle Fury to increase his farm. He's actually not too far off of that now. Needs about 600 gold. Bonk will actually come in here trying to do some damage before anything hits the tower. He does clear out that creep wave actually with the combination of the Tornado and the Illusionary Orb. So you do have a lot of AoE potential to help stop the creep waves.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously the MP doesn't do anything. But yeah, the Puck definitely does bring a lot to the table in that sense. Invoker just bought now a point booster, so obviously going for that Augment Scepter, which we discussed. Very, very useful on Invoker. You know, brings that ultimate down to no mana cost, and at the last rank, only a 2-second cooldown. So he will dish out a lot of spells during fights, which could be the difference between him dying and surviving in these fights, believe it or not. Another thing I wanted to point out was that Lifestealer decided to go Mask of Madness. Alright.
He also goes Halo Midas too. Interesting to note. I don't know if I like the Mask of Madness or not. I mean, I understand it's attack speed, so you're going to lifesteal more, but, as we were talking about actually in the cast, it's making you take more damage, and when you're kind of the appointed tank, I mean, you could also say Viper's kind of the tank of the team, but, do you really want to be taking more damage if you're trying to stay alive as long as possible? I don't know. It looks like Weaver's actually going to be able to maybe pick up this bottom tower unless somebody ports in to stop it. They could very easily, but... Yeah, they're trying to set something up here. Are Puck and Invoker aware that all this is going on? No, it looks like one of them wants to leave, but Puck wants to stay and try and do something. Are they going to be able to pick up something nice? Jugs is not able to pick up that kill on Puck because he phase shifts out. Will he be able to pick up this last hit? Oh, the stun! And then the phase again will ensure that no kill is picked up, and Weaver's able to pick up that tower. Viper goes down in the middle lane to Tiny, apparently, while those shenanigans go on, but the Lich kill also will help, push that into the Radiant favor.
Wow. Actually, see, what is Omnidate doing? He's playing Ring Around the Tower, I guess, with Invoker here. I don't know what he plans on doing. There's a Tornado with the EMP combination. Does get the repel off just in time, but still takes a ton of damage. And pretty much nothing really happened there.
Yep. It's one thing I would like to point out where, just as a general thing, we often talk about builds we like to go on heroes and things, and it's interesting to see. We talked to Craig earlier in the podcast. He said, I like going the Drums of Endurance into the Aghanim Scepter, but here we see he stops going for the drums, builds the Bracer, decides to not finish it because the need for the staff is so important. It's something to keep in mind. You should really, even if you have a set build you go in mind, like I always have one on Crystal Maiden for how I like to skill my points, be situationally aware for when you need to just stop doing one thing and really put points into something else, or really start spending your money in another direction. So here he has the Bracer, which is fine. It's giving him the stats he needs to help survive and whatnot. But now he realizes, no, I really need to be able to invoke faster and cheaper. So I'm going to start going for that Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah. Speaking of items, Storm Spirit finishes his Orc of Malevolence, actually. So it's going to be good on multiple levels. First of all, really high mana regen, which is so crucial for Storm Spirit, who just burns through his mana the fastest of any hero in the game currently. And also, he can silence and make someone take extra damage for a decent duration. It is 5 seconds to be exact. So really useful against heroes like Weaver, Puck, Invoker.
Looks like some action here in the middle lane. Tiny blinks in, looks to toss somebody 4 staffs away. In comes Storm Spirit. He will pick up the last hit there. An ult from Lich won't do a ton of damage, bouncing around. Will they be able to pick up another kill? Weaver actually gets himself in the middle of things. Will actually wind up leaving. Naix looks to pursue now, but the Omni Knight ulti pop means nobody will die except for the Weaver, who unfortunately gets picked off by Tiny. Will this Naix be able to pick up a kill on the Storm Spirit? He has no mana to try and get himself away. Storm Spirit will pick up a kill on Invoker, but then go down to Naix. Naix now trying to run for his life. There won't be anything he can do in this situation.
Creep.
Oh, he actually jumps into a creep. Very nice. So, until that creep dies, he's safe for the moment.
This is going to be interesting to see which one it is. Actually,
I'm looking for him. Where is he?
It's the glowy purpley one.
I can't click that one. Tiny's too fat.
Oh, it's about to die. Oh. There he goes.
Oh, out comes Nyx. Is he going to be able to get away? No. Tiny picks up yet another kill, so they look to push into the base. Jugs will leave, so there is some opportunity maybe to pick up some of these stragglers who decide to stick around too long. No, everybody will leave. Lich actually getting close. Actually, he does have the money to finish Mechanism. That's a pet peeve of mine when people call it Mechanism. Anyway.
What, the Mechanism?
Yeah, the Mechanism. That thing that people call Mechanism. Anyway. Interesting. Puck has picked up Arcane Boots. Unfortunately, doesn't really have any other items to speak of, just the stats from Bracer. What are other people looking to finish up? Viper finishes the Vanguard.
He's had that for a while.
What do you think about Vanguard? I mean, I honestly think a Hood might have been more useful in the situation. Pushing that into a Pipe of Endurance, I think that would be really helpful against this team.
You know what I would have liked to see? Because he went first. One of his first items was that Vit booster. So he gets that extra health to be tanky. I really like that, but then I don't think he should have turned into a Vanguard. Because you can just hold on to that, and this actually happens a lot in pro games. They'll buy that Vit booster, get that early tankiness, and then they'll go Hood after that. So that way you have the health, and now you have the magic armor, and you're much more durable. And then later, you turn that Vip Booster into a heart instead, and it's such a better item.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm really on the fence about the, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the name? The Vanguard now.
Oh.
Like, I like that. I like the health. I like the regen, but the block really is not as significant. It actually looks like a good wind walk by Invoker will stop the Juggernaut ulti, and now he's looking to slow him down until some of his friends can get here. Jugs is going to pop the spin. He will get away in the situation. Good job by Bonk not pursuing way too far. It looks like Omni Knight will actually pick up a kill on Weaver. Weaver not having a good time here as far. He picks up a Javelin. Looks like he will try to go for that MKB, but he is so far off of it right now. He's not putting out the damage that his team needs.
Absolutely not. And actually looks like Invoker might get initiated on here. Tiny's just waiting in the dark for him. And sure enough, here comes the initiation. Here comes the follow-up now. Toss him! Oh, but really good tornado there. And he's going to be able to possibly get out here. Storm Spirit comes in. Does CC him, though. Get that Courier the hay out of there. But here comes initiation on Omni Knight. He is most certainly going to drop here to someone, I would think. And yeah, there goes the kill from Lifestealer. So 2 for 1. Actually, it's 1 for 1 because Weaver's already dead. And it looks like now not actually a bad trade-off considering that Omni Knight is playing like a carry anyways at this point.
Yeah, man, that was a beautiful tornado from Invoker.
Yeah.
Hit both of those heroes, ensuring that you could get away at least a little bit. Certainly enough that he could put out that EMP and drain some of the mana from those heroes that needed so desperately, Omni Knight and Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit now picks up a Dagon, LOL Troll. Unfortunately to see that. I really would like to see Sheepstick. I think it's something at this point in the game you'd really like to start looking to go towards, especially because it gives you everything you want. Gives you int, gives you regen, and then gives you some additional crowd control.
Yeah, obviously he's just trolling at this point, but that's alright. That happens. I mean, it's not a terrible item. You think, like, actually, you know what? It's a terrible item. Just because 3 of their heroes are pretty tanky at this stage in the game. You know, Weaver and Puck are the only real vulnerable ones to that, I guess you could say. Maybe Invoker, depending on how the initiation goes. But anyways, they're doing a little hunting behind enemy lines here. Lifestealer farming so well. I mean, I can't stress that enough. Initiation.
He is really
middle.
I hope, yeah. Oh, here in the middle lane, looks like Bonk might go down here. Yes, he will. The Storm Spirit. Will Viper be able to get out? He's actually going to maybe take down this Storm Spirit, moving so slow. Did Viper pop the Viper Strike? He did. The Storm Spirit is going to get out just fine, though, picking up a heal from Omni Knight as he runs away. You know, it's interesting. We look at the number of carries on this team on the Radiant side, and Lifestealer is really the only one that's doing a ton. I really hope he has picked up the armlet. I'm really hoping for something like a heart at this point. He really needs that tankiness so he can just sit in the fights. Or even a BKB. I mean, still so much of this Dire team is magic damage. If he just gets that, there's so much more that this team can potentially do. I mean, that's really why I wanted to see the Hood of Defiance up on Viper. It looks like he is going to start building that now that he has the cloak, but that barrier idol would be so important. Barrier idol. Pipe of Endurance would be so useful.
Now it would have been in the wrong terms.
Come on. I know, it happens.
Professor's not. Because the professor's not saying names at all. Let's say I'm being smart. Unless I mouse over it, then I'm like, the power treads. No. So Puck actually did get a Blink Dagger. I don't know if we mentioned that. But obviously, in conjunction with his phase shift, he can use that while he is phase shifted. So really now he should, you know, if he can get that phase shift off, he should be able to survive most situations, which is really going to be helpful here, especially against burst heroes such as Tiny, such as Juggernaut. And in this case, as you can see, if you do not use it in time, you are dead. So
well, the nice thing is Storm Spirit walked in, saw him, and immediately Orchid Malevolence. I mean, it's such a good item against this lineup. Stop Weaver from going invisible, stop Invoker from casting his combo, stop Puck from phase shifting out and getting away. Here we can see so many people picked up the EMP dropping, draining a lot of mana. Pardon me. Actually, it takes about half of Omni Knight's mana away. Just such a huge amount. What is Storm Spirit doing? He's looking to run completely ahead of everybody and still doesn't have any support. He's now down to half health. Not very smart of him to run in there. Will they be able to do anything. Nope. Everybody just goes back, and very intelligent to do. The Radiant do not want to try and push out past this tower.
And they need Puck, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They need that ulti and silence, really.
Absolutely. I mean, the silence is so detrimental to the other team, too. We're talking about, how that Orc and Malevolence is useful, but, silence, Storm Spirit, silence, Tiny, both those are huge. Unfortunately, Invoker gets caught out a little bit, pressed out too far. A good Lich ult will look to do a little bit of damage here, but now it looks like this Nax is going to try and get out and do some damage. They actually look to back off Puck, though, and still in a lot of trouble. The ult by Omni Knight popped for what, really not a ton of damage coming out against them. Nax does want to keep this up. He wants to do some damage. The disarm used, stopping Juggernaut from killing Puck there in the back. Interesting to see this. He is now spinning on this Nax, who is very tanky in his own race. He's actually looking to pick up an MKB. Very nice there. Nobody actually killed except for the fact this Lifestealer wants to keep it going. He's not interested in stopping. He actually is still really tanky despite the increased damage he's taking from this Masks of Madness. He's actually going to maybe bait the Storm Spirit and staying way too long. No. Storm Spirit doesn't have any mana left, and Viper will actually pick up that last hit. The dot from the poison attack will be enough to finish that off. Finally, someone dies for that 5-minute engagement we just had there in the middle lane.
Well, I was like grunting, baring my teeth because after that they baited the Omni Knight ulti. That's when I really would have liked to see them fall back and heal up, but they kept going and going. I'm like, oh no, this is going to turn around on them. But it ended up not doing that. It's because, like we were saying, Lifestealer is a beast right now. He is so hard to kill, especially with that magic immunity. And when their whole team is pretty much magic damage at this point, yeah, they're going to have trouble. Juggernaut is like a one-trick pony, basically. If he doesn't kill you with his ultimate, I mean, not that his auto-attack damage is bad, don't get me wrong, but he's nothing like an Anti-Mage or a Faceless Void.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to do Roshan at this point. Repel will be placed on Juggernaut. Juggernaut will try and go in here and hopefully pop his ulti. Look how much damage Nax is doing to this Omni Knight. They will pick up a kill. Puck actually gets killed by the neutral Roshan. So no money to the Dire team. Will they be able to now pick up a kill on Lich? They do. Lifestealer on a killing spree doing just so much damage. BKB popped by Juggernaut. Rage popped by Lifestealer. His free BKB. He is going to keep up the pursuit. As soon as this runs out, you're going to be sure to see a slow on this Juggernaut. There it is, and they pick up a kill. They're going to keep pushing this. Tiny has picked up Aghanim's Scepter. It is not going to help him much here. Looks like Weaver's going to speed up and try and pursue. Viper will apply the slow, and Lifestealer will pick up a mega kill, getting an ultra kill. Now will he be able to wipe the entire team looking to pick up a kill on this Storm Spirit, who pushes way too far, trying to pick up a kill onto Weaver, who just invises away. Storm Spirit will manage to just barely survive.
This Lifestealer is doing work. And actually, you see him pick up a Skull Bash now. I love that pickup. Just because of the fact that he's going to be able to kill people so easily now. He's got the Sage Yasha for the speed. He's got the Massive Madness for the speed. And now he's going to bash you every few seconds. Especially with that attack speed, he's going to have no trouble perma-bashing someone, especially like a Juggernaut, just like an Omni Knight. And now with those new items, help me, I'm blanking. There's one, though.
Abyssal Blade.
Abyssal Blade. He's going to definitely go for that. Actually, you know what? He might not. Wait. What he could do... I was going to say, he could break down his Ancient Yasha and then turn it into that, but then what would he use the Yasha for? I mean, you really don't want
to... Turn it into... No, the Abyssal Blade is combined of Skullbasher and Sacred Relic.
Wow. Then that's perfect. What was I thinking of? The Halberd. Yeah. I was thinking of the Halberd.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Yeah, that's even greater, because then he'll do a ton of damage. And he's almost got enough for the Relic. Look at this. He'll have it after this. Oh my goodness.
The other thing, too, is we've seen that Juggernaut has picked up the BKB, so he's going to be able to stun Juggernaut for 2 seconds during that BKB, stop him from doing the damage to the Puck and those heroes that they really want to keep alive. I really did like what the Radiant did. As soon as they killed Storm Spirit, they look to try and get in position to take the Roshan, and while they have that advantage, they have to do things like that, pick up those small gains. They didn't really have any lanes to push to try and take a tower, so they eventually did get a ward up there. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody had wards on them at the time when they were looking to kill Roshan, but they kept vision up there top of the stairs to make sure that they didn't get ganked inside the Roche pit. They made best of that situation and then turned around and finished off Roshan. Very smart play.
Here you go, Storm Spirit leveling up Dagon, and that's gonna maybe be one of the reasons they might lose this game. Like if he went a Sheepstick instead of that Dagon, that would be so useful for their team to be able to CC some of these big heavy hitters. You got.
Unfortunately, I think you could say the same thing for Tiny. He goes the Aghanim Scepter instead of going for the Sheepstick. I mean, you could say, yeah, their team was looking very strong, looking to push, probably when he decided to build that item, but now they're not pushing. They're not getting attacks on the buildings, so that Aghanim Scepter not really doing anything for them right now. The Dire is looking to group up and try and push the middle lane. Tiny does have another invisibility rune, so he's going to try and look to scout ahead and see if he can pick up any kills, maybe go in on somebody and throw them back in the team. Looks like Storm Spirit does want to go. They are going to look to try and take down the Weaver. They do. Tiny will get that kill, but Storm Spirit will go down. Now Tiny is stunned because of the Dream Coil. A good Lich ult will get a couple of bounces, but ends with Viper. Now they're going to look to kill this Lich, who's perma-slowed by Viper. Puck will actually go up there. Here we see the wall from Invoker doing a ton of damage because Lich was kept in range there. Nyx does go down, but because of the Token of Life, there's the snipe from Invoker that Craig was talking about before. Able to pick up the Juggernaut, keep him in range, and BKB popped for no reason there. There was no way he was getting away. Stunned by Tiny, tries to stop the pursuit, but look how fast this Invoker is. He's going to be able to catch them. At least probably catch Omni Knight. No, does not look like it. Where is that? Tornado snipe misses, unfortunately. Now it looks like the Radiant will be able to pick up at least one tower here in the middle lane. The Creep's actually looking to push top as well.
Wow, and there you go. Actually, Viper did finish a Pipe of Insight, and you saw it used during that team fight there. Really nice against that Lich Ult. It nullified the Lich Ult, pretty much. So, doing a lot of work there. Sheepstick actually finished on the Omni Knight, which he used there on Lifestealer, but it didn't do a whole lot. And now it's going to be down for when they try to initiate here, if they do at all. They're going to definitely easily get this tower, and you would assume the whole lane. I mean, there's just not a whole lot this team can do.
Look at this. Lifestealer has already finished Abyssal Blade and is up to 2,000 gold. I mean, that's what the Hand of Midas is going to allow you to do. He has sold that already. It looks like, actually, Storm Spirit wants to initiate, wants to try and pick up a kill on this Puck who is silenced. Will he be able to take him out? No, he will not. The Phase Shift is going to save his life for at least the time being. Omni Knight will pick up a kill there. The Omni Knight ulti popped. We can see a Forge Spirit actually in the back. I'm sorry I got distracted. Lolscat.
Beautiful.
Lifestealer is going to look to sit here underneath the tornado, waiting for these heroes to come down. He will pick up a kill on the Omni Knight. He is so unstoppable at this point. The stuns will make sure that Storm Spirit goes down. Looks like an ulti from Juggernaut will look to try and take him out. He is actually to kill him. A lucky crit there. A nice Lich Ult. Oh no, will it bounce back and forth? No, it won't. That's that speed from Invoker is going to make sure nothing happens there. Viper will go down. Will Invoker now be able to get away? He actually wants to turn this around on Tiny, but no, they will intelligently back off. They know they are not really outnumbered, but they just want to make sure that they don't give up any useless kills.
I am really liking it. It's not just because we're friends with him, but he has late and did some amazing, amazing tornadoes this game. I mean, there, Omni Knight dropped his ultimate to make him invincible, and he hit all four with the CC. So essentially, about half the duration of his ultimate, they couldn't do anything.
Yeah, definitely. That was a beautiful tornado, and as we saw, Nyx just sat there and chilled, just waiting for him to come down, and then was able to tear the team apart. It was very nice to see there. Actually, a 3-for-2 exchange. Now Nyx, here in the woods, is just destroying Juggernaut. He actually picks himself up a Ghost Scepter, and that is not going to save him. He goes down here to Lifestealer. This Lifestealer is definitely going to take the game away, it seems like. Unfortunately, Weaver still has not finished that MKB. Poor guy, trying his darndest. Yeah, I guess you could say he was looking for Ethereal Blade, but...
An auto-attacker taking a Ghost Scepter. Let me explain the reasons I dislike that. Number one, you're an auto-attacker. So, therefore, you need to be able to auto-attack. And I don't mean to sound like a dick. I probably do. But the point is like, that obviously makes you, essentially, makes you so you can't attack, you can only cast spells during it, and you can't be hit by physical attacks. So, while that helps, I guess, against... three of their heroes. I'm not saying it's bad item against their team. I'm saying it's bad on the carry that is required to auto-attack to do a lot of your damage. So I would have much rather seen a tankier item. Perhaps, I don't know, even there's so many ideas. I have so many ideas. I'm going to look up my shop really quickly to say one of them. The one I'm
actually
thinking
here.
of.
at the Radiant Super Creeps. Looks like Viper got caught out by Storm Spirit. He will not go down, though, and just looks to go back to farming those. Storm Spirit picks up a nice little heal, and great, thank you for
Actually,
going
would have
back.
liked Shadowblade.
I still wouldn't like Shadowblade personally, but it looks like
He did the
Invoker's going to be
combo.
really ballsy here. Yeah, there's the combo, actually. Storm Spirit taking a lot of damage from that Chaos Meteor, running right there with it, taking that additional
Dude,
damage.
he did that just for me. I'm pretty sure.
So he did that for you, and then he did the Forge Spirit for me, I'm sure.
There it is.
Throwing one out to each of us. Thank you, good sir, for being so much fun to watch.
Dude, look at
It's
this
nice
gold
to see
chart. It's
that-
gone 6,500 gold back in the favor of the Radiant.
Wow, yeah, that's of course nice to see. The Dire still has the advantage, though, unfortunately. But the Radiant do have the Rax advantage. The range barracks still up in the middle lane, but it's really the melee that's all the push power, and that's going to help keep the Dire on their back foot. It looks like in the top lane, Bonk pops Illusion Rune. He will actually look to help push this top lane. He does finish up the. Oh no, he doesn't. I'm sorry. His teammate finishes Drums. Puck picking that up. That's kind of interesting. Not sure what I think about that one. We'll have to see what Invoker... Oh, Invoker actually looking to pick up the Sheep Stick next. So there you go. Very smart, picking up the crowd control. And, that's really what the other team's lacking at this point. Instead of seeing Dagon level 2, instead of seeing Augment Scepter and Hyperstone, instead of seeing S and Y, where's the more team-oriented... Where are the more team-oriented?
Something I want to discuss, but there's going to be a team fight, so I'm going to let you keep talking.
Okay, talk. In comes Knight. Actually, a good tornado there will pick people up and knock them back down. Nothing really made of it. In comes a Lich ultimate. Will it bounce? Not really. Actually, Viper gets caught back. Will he go down? Yes, he will. Knight will actually pick up that kill. Weaver will just look to get himself out, and this will stop the push. They were able to almost take out the top tower. So actually still kind of works in their favor. Actually looks like Storm Spirit will look to push this fight. Tiny picks up a kill on the Puck. Puck will buy back and come back. Knight pops his ulti to stop Nyx from destroying their team. The CC on Nyx will last for a while longer. He is still really low. No health regen. This is where that heart would really come in handy. He's going to jump inside Invoker. Because of the movement speed of Invoker, he is probably going to get away. Well, we didn't see it matched up with Puck or anything. Oh. Interesting. Alright, I don't know about that one. But, it looks like they are actually going to catch out Puck, who just bought back now. We're going to have lost so much money. Why, Puck, why?
That was unfortunate. I mean, some good CCs coming about, but they did catch a couple of those heroes like Viper and Puck off guard, and Puck dying twice. Really unfortunate there. It actually looks like Lifestealer now goes Hyperstone, so he's going to finish his build with an Assault Curious. Attack speed, we can't stress enough how good it is. Especially on Lifestealer, whose passive just eats away. I don't even mean it to be a pun. But, he does a really great job of just annihilating people with his auto attacks. And then, of course, reducing armor and giving your team armor. What can go wrong there? Actually, Juggernaut does finish the Ethereal Blade. So now it makes a lot more sense. That doesn't make any sense to me. No, it makes a lot more than just the Ghost Scepter.
Ethereal Blade is something you really only see on Morphling for good reason. It does damage based on your agility, but look at what Juggernaut's built. He spent all of his money on Black King Bar, on Battle Fury, both of which don't give him agility. The only thing the Ethereal Blade is benefiting from is itself. So that doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. Don't
it's
do
a 350 damage nuke
bad,
without mitigation. So with mitigation, it's probably about 200 something damage.
Yeah, does that include... okay, did you see the math?
30-second cooldown. Yeah, I did the quick math. I did the napkin math, or whatever it's called.
There you go. The Tornado EMP combo used again here in the middle lane. Is nice to see Lich picks up the Mechanism. He is actually looking to go the Ognum Scepter too, just an Ognum Scepter kind of game. A nice item on Lich, but, I don't know. They are keeping up the vision, so I guess I can't have too much issue with it. But here we see the lack of vision from the Radiant really gonna give them a disadvantage. They're allowing.
Out now, sorry to interrupt you. I figured out what I really wanted on Juggernaut.
Interrupting cow.
I really wanted a butterfly.
Boo.
A butterfly. Obviously, for good reason, you would give him evasion against, the 3 auto attackers. 4 really, because Invoker does do a good amount of auto attacking himself. And then also the agility. the damage, the attack speed, all that good stuff. I mean, that would probably have been the ideal pick. He probably should go for that at least next. Actually, no, he gets a Morbid Mask, so Lifesteal is obviously a better choice.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about Juggernaut's choices here. I mean, the only problem with going Butterfly at this point is we see that Weaver has already picked up the MKB, but it's still probably worthwhile, considering that you're going up against his Lifestealer, which is really all the source of the damage.
Yeah.
And he's looking to finish his build with an Assault Curie, so he doesn't even have room for the MKB. Here in the top lane, it looks like the Dire want to push. They realize they need to get some kind of advantage going. Juggernaut pops the BKB for no reason now, yet again, pushing the duration down to 6 seconds. So, taking a second off the max duration. There we see a Chaos Meteor taking out all the range creeps, a lot of the melee, stopping that push dead in its tracks. Something I hadn't really considered on Invoker, but, that ability really does give him the ability to stall pushes as well, as we just saw there. And now it looks like the Dire have to kind of cycle around and look to go to a different lane, yeah.
Because
they have to defend
the
middle.
melee barracks was taken out, so that is going to keep harassing them in this game, unfortunately for them. You see a little harassment going by Invoker. At this point in the game, it's not going to do as much damage, obviously, because now we're scaling mid to late game where everyone's got at least 2,000 health and feels pretty tanky and confident. Storm Spirit's still insisting on leveling that Dagon for just 100 extra burst damage, essentially, and a little bit lower cooldown. I mean, I don't really get where he's going with that.
The only thing I can really think of is you want to try and take out the Nyx or the Weaver very quickly, and at max rank it does 800 damage. He levels it up again, 700 now. That's really the only sense I can make out of it, but wouldn't the Sheep be much more useful being able to chain those together, even if you can't do it on Nyx like the whole time? I think actually it'd be interesting to see Abyssal Blade picked up on Juggernaut. I mean, that would stop Nyx's rage, that would slow him down a little bit so that he wasn't able to just run through the enemy team. The duration on rage is actually shorter than BKB. It's 4.75 seconds, so that means that basically a little less than half the duration. Lifestealer is immune to spells. He's stunned because of the Abyssal Blade. Obviously a very expensive item to get, but you figure, hey, if Juggernaut didn't have this Ethereal Blade, didn't have the Helm of the Dominator, he would be able to have that by now.
Yeah, we could go on a big list of what he should have done item-wise. But, in the end of at the end of the day, he's still doing pretty good damage. And he's still helping his team do a level. And I mean, it really does help having this Omni on his team to really save his hide when he needs to. Tiny actually did finish an Assault Curious, so that's going to help his team out quite a bit as well, and himself. All that attack speed. Omni Knight decided to pick up his own Ghost Scepter, and actually looks like Puck might get caught out here.
Well, Storm Spirit wants to pursue, but look, he's already drained half of his mana trying to do that. He will get tossed up into the air now using more of his mana. He's now almost out. Here's this team fight looks to start. Look at the Pipe of Insight doing work, stopping a lot of that damage from Juggernaut. Everyone will survive, it looks like, and now Nyx is just looking to beat the crap out of people in the back. Storm Spirit comes back in an ulti drop by Lich. Will that be able to do much damage? Gets caught inside of a creep wave, but will not take anybody down. Nyx will jump inside of a creep and look to try and get away. Will he be able to? No, he will not. He will go down 3-0, and now this middle lane will go down to the Dire.
Yeah, they got caught out kind of badly there, and there was some really good... That Juggernaut ult hit 2 or 3 people. It was really effective. It definitely did a lot of damage to Invoker, as well as some other heroes. And I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they did a decent job, but they just weren't able to keep up with this team fight potential. When you think about the Lich armor, the Omni Knight ult, the Lich ult, I mean, they had so much different ways to bring out the damage, and they just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, here we see Weaver will actually get caught out here in the middle, dying as soon as he comes back, essentially. Viper the only one left up here to defend. They did have backdoor protection for a while. Now the rune is popped. Yeah, there's just no creeps in sight. They can't push these other lanes. They should really just be looking to push through the middle and take out the Ancient. I mean, there's still 40 seconds left on some of these heroes, and we can buy back, and they're just looking to try and beat down through this backdoor protection. They will finally take out one of these Raxes. They will look to pick up the second one here as Tiny looks to push in at top. Very unfortunate. This one team wipe is going to pretty much cost them the game.
Wow, look at Tiny. He 4-shot that barracks. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good at pushing. As we can see, he's just two shots these other buildings. He does a ton of damage. See, that's another reason that you think they should have just gone through the middle. He could just destroy these towers, but I think it's kind of a common thing, especially in pubs, just kind of be more focused on picking up the extra lanes instead of just looking to end the game. It's, I think, definitely a somewhat safer option in some cases, but I mean, now the Radiant do have, okay, I guess they don't have a lot of potential to come back because all three lanes have died, but yeah, Mega Creep's kind of strong.
So just the thing I want to point out here, and I think the only thing I would have done differently as Invoker here, he seemed to get targeted the most from these Juggernaut ultis. I really would have liked to see a Ghost Scepter on him. Like, that item really cancels out Juggernaut's ult, essentially.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I think you're right. That would have been a nice thing to have. I mean, he has windwalked out of a lot of these ultimates that we saw earlier in the game, but unfortunately, you can't pick up the CC. Finishing off this sheep stick here in the middle lane, actually, a lot of damage being done by this Lich ultimate. Viper's actually going to pick up a kill on Storm Spirit. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough. Omni Knight will pick up a kill on Viper. Lifestealer will pick up a Lich in the back, though. And now it looks like Omni Knight will go down as well. Almost team wipe there. 2 heroes left alive, but because they're going to have to defend all these lanes, they're not going to be able to come back at this point unless they send Lifestealer off to maybe get that range barrack somehow in the middle lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 to 1, like a half. I mean, it's just not going to be enough, unfortunately, to really do anything. And they still even have an outer tower. And it's just not good enough, unfortunately, to be enough damage. They put up a good effort, especially because they started out kind of behind. But, yeah, at the end of the day, there was too much to handle in that team fight. And they also, I guess, I'm a little disappointed with the way Viper kind of went this game. Just like, right now he's going a Scepter. And when you're against a hero, not only one that has BKB, but then Repel, it's basically going to make it moot. So you might as well just go for damage at this point.
I mean, I think for Viper, you want to try and go the tank ability personally. Like, that's almost a heart that he's got sitting in there. I mean, it's certainly the Reaver. Yeah, that definitely I think would have been a better choice. The Aghanim Scepter, I mean, sure, decreases mana cost and cooldown, and the increases cast range on Viper Strike, but I mean, that's not what makes Viper good, in my opinion. It's really his tank ability, his ability to stop other carries, and the ability to sort of perma-slow with the poison attack.
I can see it in some games. I'm just saying against Repel, it's literally no point.
Yeah, I think the other thing, too, it's kind of unfortunate, is they didn't have the sort of just blatant auto-attack agility hero. Like, they had Nax here to be the carry, but they didn't really have anybody to pick up the Diffusal Blade, which is just so strong against Omni Knight. There wasn't a ton done with the ultimates and the repels that you were like flat out like, oh, if only they could have purged that off, they would have been a kill, but it certainly would have helped, and having additional mana drain would have been fantastic as well.
See, I would have liked that actually on Lifestealer. Because he's got the attack speed going, so he'll drain a ton of mana. He can slow someone for CC and obviously purge for the repel. I think it would have been great on him. And it could have worked on Viper too, to be honest. But I would.
Can Viper get that with another toxin though? I don't think he can.
Another toxin is not an orb. Yeah, it's just a
very interesting. Well, it's a fantastic one at that.
It is.
Look at his bottom lane. So much damage being on the Omni Knight because of that cold snap. So nice. The Weaver is doing so many attacks. He was able to really do a lot there. Oh, they're not going to be able to do anything in this bottom lane, unfortunately. A tower gets lost in the middle, and they're just fighting a losing battle. As soon as the Dire look to push in here, this game will end. Now it looks like Jugs and Tiny will look to absolutely destroy this Ancient with that Aghanim Scepter.
That Tiny auto-attack damage. Oh, man. That should be built every time on every Tiny.
I mean, I do like it. It's pretty awesome. Tiny actually builds Divine Rapier to finish off this game. Not the normal build, you could say, but
not typical.
Oh, look, Jugs gets destroyed here. Nyx is so strong. It's really unfortunate. It looks like the Ancient will go down. Thank you guys for joining in, watching this debauchery. is Dota On Demand Breakdown. Thanks for tuning in. Please check out our podcast and continue to stay with us. Check out our YouTube
Grow
and our
strong and
own
blossom.
channel. Yes. Pros and cons.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. Are you done?
No, yeah, I'm done. Thanks for joining us, guys.
See you later,
Please come and check out our other stuff. Peace.